Hey there guys, welcome back for part 2 of our build series on refreshing a flathead on a budget. I am Oliver, this is Trad Rod and Custom. You're not going to want to miss this one. Let's get into it. Real quick before we get into the video, I just want to let you guys know, I did say this is going to be a 2-part video series. I think it's going to be more like a 4-part video series, just because of time, the way it's all playing out. We got to put it on the run stand when we're all done with everything else. In this video, we are doing the valves. We're going to get into the bottom end a little bit, but probably not all the way through the bottom end. So in the next video, we'll finish the bottom end, and then we'll move on to painting, putting new seals on, getting it all prepped and ready, set it top dead center, ready to fire, put on the engine stand. Should be really great. Man, we had some great responses to part 1 on this series. We also had a couple critiques, and I thought, you know, of those critiques, there was only one that I thought, you know, that's a little valid. That's valid. The rest were just kind of whatever. People running their mouths. But the one critique that I got that they're right is guys were saying you don't want to use taps to chase threads on head bolt holes. They're right. You don't want to do that. You can do that if you're very careful. But the reality is these are threads that need to hold a torque setting. You don't want to cut them at all. And that's what a tap is made for. It's made to cut threads. Now, there are tools designed to clean out threads. They're called thread chasers. I don't have any. I should have some, but I don't. Now, there's a workaround there, and I'm going to show you what that is right now. So as you saw there, what I did is I took this grade 8 bolt and I cut a line in it on both sides. And what that's going to do is that is going to allow this to clean threads. Basically, it just becomes a thread chaser. And now it has room to kind of scoop that gunk and crap out without cutting any threads. Now, this is an old trick. I do have thread chasers on order now, but I thought that was worth showing and mentioning. Unless you guys really know what you're doing, I would not recommend using taps to chase threads. I shouldn't have done it. I take it back. Don't do that. So anyway, you can make your own thread chaser just like I just did, just by notching a bolt. It's better to use a hardened bolt if you're going to do that. So, for today's video, we're going to tackle valves. I already did this side. As I got into it, a bunch of the seats were very corroded, so I did grind a bunch of valve seats. I think there's at least a couple on this side that we can grind. I see a couple. This one's not great. So I'll show you guys my process. It's everybody's process, but I'm going to show you my process for removing valves. I'm going to show you grinding the seats. I'm really not, I'm not like doing a double angled grind or some, you know, this isn't a machine shop video. This isn't some crazy thing. This is just using the right degree stone to touching on the surface that has become pitted because the valve was open for 30 plus years and it got pitted. It's not horrible. It's not gone. Should we take it down to a machine shop and have them put hardened seats in? Oh yeah, we could do that. We don't have to do that though. Not to get the valves to seat. In all honesty, it would probably run just fine with it how it is, but you don't, like, we're right here. Let's just kiss those valve seats just a little bit on the ones that need it. All of them get lapping compound. I'll show you that. So anyway, I'll bring you guys in here, show you how I do this. It's really simple. It is something you get a rhythm doing though. That's part of why I didn't film doing the first half is when you haven't done, if you don't do valves every day, flathead valves, you kind of stumble and bumble your way through the first couple, and then you get a rhythm going, and then it starts flying. I wouldn't say that I have my rhythm going right now, but it's better than it was. So I'll bring you guys in here and show you. Tools I use for removing valves. I made my own little, it's a crowbar that I made my own little fork in the end of for prying on valves. That's one tool I use. You can buy those for like 50 bucks, the actual ones on eBay, but I'm cheap. Valve spring compressor. This lifts. Oh, what's going on? Oh, I got it out of the groove. This lifts and holds the spring up. That is a tool that is quite handy for this job. Magnet on a stick. Love this. Helps me get all the keepers. Helps me get all the pieces without having to fumble around. Nice big flathead screwdriver. You'll see why. Dead blow. And a nice brass punch. Okay. Bring in here and show you guys how I do this. You jam this in here it's only when they're down, when the lifter is down. You don't want to do this with the lifter up. Jam that in, and then you want to compress like that. That lifts, so it's up. The valve is up because I lifted the whole thing. It's all stuck together right now. And give the valve a gentle tap with the dead blow. See it come back down. See how the whole hat came with it here? We don't want that. So I'm going to take my flathead screwdriver and put it just under the edge of the hat and give it another tap. Just like that. Now, see how that came loose? And now the keepers are loose. Now, I'm going to take my magnet on a stick. I'm going to go in there and just snatch my keepers. See? There's 2 of those. Don't lose them. Don't drop them down the oil pan. You need those. Sometimes this is a little bit of a chopstick maneuver here. And that goes. Just like that. Now, there's nothing holding that valve in anymore. So I'm going to get that big pry bar thingy. See if I can get it down underneath there. Just like that. Valve pops up. Take the valve out. Lost my dead blow. Now I'm going to grab the hat. See that? Hat's out. Valve's out. Now we can relieve our tension here. Let the spring down. Now we want to get the hat that goes up under the spring. I'll use that pry bar again. Just lift it up. Grab the hat with the magnet. Grab the hat with the magnet. Oh, you bugger there. There she is. Now we gotta get that spring out of there. I like to kind of pry it over and down and over and down until she falls out. Spring. Now we have the valve guide in there. This is where we take our punch and our bigger metal hammer that I left over on the bench. Okay, this is where we take this. We slide it right down in here on top of that. Right in the middle. Tap, tap, tap. And out she comes. Really want to be gentle. Now here is the clip that holds that in place. That'll be the last part we put back. And there's our guide. Actually in great shape. Really great shape. Even the seals are in good shape. They're soft. So, bring you guys in. Now you can see the seat. This one's not in bad shape. It's got a nice ring, other than that little spot right there, but it's got a nice ring around it. And so does the seat. I'm gonna knock all the carbon off the bottom of this valve. Just like that. I'm gonna run this very gently and briefly right here. Okay. And then what we're gonna do to lap this is we're gonna put the guide back in, just like that. Like that. So, for the lapping, we're going to take some of this lapping compound, put it on the valve all the way around. Drop that in the hole. We're going to get our suction cup tool, get it centered on the top, and you spin. Every now and then, just like you're starting a fire, every now and then you lift it, rotate it a quarter turn, drop it. Just like that. Then you wipe all that compound off. And what you want to do is you want to look at the surfaces. You want to see the contact. If you guys can see that real well. See that nice line? Showing that it was contacting all the way around. Same deal down here. Nice points of contact all the way around. I'm going to finish up the rest of these valves now that I've shown you guys how I do it. And then we'll go on to the oil pan. We'll drop that bad boy and see, plastic gauge the mains and see what we see down there. I want to give a special thanks to Mart's Garage for commenting on the last video and the positive, kind words. Mart does great work, and I've been watching his content for years. And yeah, I really appreciate it, man. Thanks. Well, this is where we are at. One thing I like to do with engines in general, it probably not as necessary here. You can see they have marked each one of the rods has been marked 5-5. You want to mark the caps as you take them all off. This has been rebuilt, so it's not real surprising. Oh, look, they used 5s on all of them. Oh, this one says 6, this one says 5, this one says 5. Here's 4. This one says 5. And it says 8. And it says something else. Too funny. This one says 3, 4, 5, 6. What's this one? This one number 1. Yeah. So can't always trust what you see. See, if I took the 2 5s apart, I might put the caps on the wrong ones. This will not be an issue for us in this segment. And the reason for that is we're only going to be taking off 1 cap at a time. We're probably not going to even do all of the caps. We're just looking for a general sense of where we're at with the bearings. So I'm going to probably pull the center main cap, check it with the plastic gauge, and pull a couple of the rod caps and check them with the plastic gauge, torque them all back to spec. This is the plastic gauge we're going to want here. It's 0.001 to 0.003. The spec for this is 0.0015 to, I want to say it's 0.0025. I'll put it on the screen so you guys can see. But anyway, green plastic gauge is what we're after. Let's get a wrench on that and crack her open. There it goes. The main purpose for doing this is just to check bearing clearances. We just want to make sure everything's looking okay, close enough to spec. We're not rebuilding this engine. If you watch part 1, you know that. We're not rebuilding this engine. We are just refreshing. That's for this side. I'm going to set it to that side. I want the same bolts and the same holes with everything, just keeping everything oriented correctly. Just like that. Off she comes. I can tell you right off, the bearing surfaces look great on this. And being an engine that was rebuilt, it's not real surprising. See how clean those are? Just rub grease back into them. There's no real wear through. There is a little groove there. It's not real bad though. Really good looking. Really, really good looking. So, to do plastic gauge, this came off this way, by the way. It needs to go back on the way it came off. You got to get all the lubricant out of here. Crank looks good from what I can see. Now you take your plastic gauge, go ahead and cut that off. You want enough to run. There we go. Got it peeled open. You want enough to run the length of your bearing. Across there. Put this back on the same orientation it came off. I want to try to be a little more gentle than I just was. For the mains are 95 to 105 foot-pounds. Bring it on down here. There's 100. And there's 100. Not using my torque wrench to break it loose again. So now that we've torqued them down, we're gonna pull them back off. Okay. Keeping those on the same sides. It's loose. Up she comes. And Here's our plastic gauge. Now what you're going to do is you're going to use this scale to check your plastic gauge, and it'll tell you what you're sitting at. So you're going to use the scale, and it's going to tell you what your plastic gauge measures to. And I am seeing some pretty good smash there. We are right at just under 0.002. Just under 0.002. Let's see. Yeah, just under 0.002 on both. Scrape all that off. You scratch all that plastic gauge off with your fingernail. And then what I like to do is before I put that back on, I like to use a little assembly lube because I removed all the oiling out of there. So that'll just help for startup and make sure that it's lubricated. Because I wiped all the lubricant out of there, we don't want to have none when we go back. So I'm going to put a little in here. Just like that. Rub it all on my finger. Do the same with the main. Rub it all on my finger. Now we can put her all back together. There's 100. Anyway, guys, I didn't quite get as far this week as I wanted to on this. We were waiting on some parts. We got a bunch of new stuff for this motor. We got brand new head bolts in. We got thermostat, spark plugs, water hoses, all that stuff. It's all in now, all the parts. So we're gonna start chugging again here. Next week's video, part 3, we are gonna check some more caps, and then we're gonna clean the sludge out of this pan. There's not a ton, there's just a little bit. Really good signs all the way around. Really not seeing anything scary on this motor. I think that this motor would have run just fine if it wasn't touched. That being said, some of those valve seats were not in great shape. So run just fine. Maybe I'm giving it too much credit. It would have run. I don't think it would have run great. It would have run though. Some of those seats needed to be cleaned up. They just did. Those valves were not seating well. They'd been sitting open for like 30, 40 years. So it happens, but no crazy damage on this thing. I'm not seeing anything nuts. We're going to clean up the oil pickup. We're going to clean up the pan. We're going to check some more caps. Then we're going to put it all together, put the pan back on, put some seals on, wire wheel it all clean, degrease, wire wheel some more, degrease, paint it, and then we'll flip it over and start doing the top. We got, we're going to run the cast heads. That's what the customer wants to do. We're going to set up this 2-carb intake, this offie intake. We got carb parts in. I don't know what I did with them. They're sitting right here somewhere right in front of my face. Here. We got our power valves, 4.5s, and we got our jets, which are 4.9 jets. And that's what we're going to run in each carb, build them the same. It's a 2-carb intake, non-progressive linkage, just straight linkage between them. That's where you want to be for Holly 94s, 4.5 power valves and 4.9 jets. Should run really good like that. While we're in there, we'll take a look at the accelerator pumps. Might do rebuilds on both carbs. We'll just see what we need. But anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Hope you guys are enjoying this. Again, you can take a flathead, you can take an engine build way further than this. The goal of this is not to show you how to rebuild an engine. The goal is to show you how to take an engine. Maybe you bought a running engine and you just want to check it. You know, you don't want to pop it in your hot rod and not know, hey, is it just going to run for a couple miles and then dump a dump a rod or something? Like, what's going on? This is how to kind of go through and check everything and get an idea what you're working with. This is not a rebuild. This is a refresh on a budget. Appreciate you guys watching. Hope you're enjoying. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, share it with your friends. Drop me some comments about how much I know about all this stuff or how little I know about it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I got a midweek video coming for you guys on the Rat Rod Roundup. Cool show. Not super local to us. We drove a ways to get there, but it was fun. And the missus took home a prize in the pinup contest. So I think you guys will enjoy that. See you guys in the next one. Later.